Make it like Latin.
Like a little fun, yeah. Welcome to the breakdown, this time without Richie Quan. Welcome, Roarke.
Thank you. Welcome, Coach Guy.
Thank you, Coach Roarke. All right, so a big topic with, I'm sure every martial arts gym in every style of martial arts comes across is the story of grading. How does it work for adults, for kids? And every gym has their own cultures, especially in Jiu-Jitsu. There's a few variations on how this works. So we really wanted to sit down, talk, flesh out exactly how it works in our gym. We believe we have quite a unique culture around our grading, which makes it very special.
And it's something I don't think we've noticed it recently, is that a lot of the times people who are just starting actually don't know how it works. And then sometimes there's an anxiety created around it, like when should you be getting stripes, and then how long you should aim for belts and things like that. So I think just this video to help clarify how the system works, and then also at the end of the day, you really shouldn't worry about stripes or belts. You should just
chase the knowledge.
Yeah, you should just be getting better every time. But it's also good to lay out exactly like the averages and how this works for people.
Look, by all means, it's cliche to say, like, don't worry about stripes and belts. It's just something that covers an inch of your bum.
Yeah.
But it's still, because it's something people put so much energy into, they do put a lot of emphasis. It's natural human nature to care so much about the stripes or belt on color of your belt.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to understand how the system works, and then also like you and I have been at different colors for extended periods of time that are outside the average. So it's important to understand like the end goal is chasing technique, but then also like how the system works, and then what the averages are on them. Cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the kids. That seems like a logical place to start.
Yeah.
So the IBJJF, who's the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation, who we take a lot of guidance from and follow a lot of their protocols, suggest one of three systems: the
triannual, and
quarterly. We follow the monthly system, so there's roughly 30. The kids are very attendance based as they go. It obviously changes a little bit as they get a bit older.
But also, I mean, it's not attendance based on their belts. It's on the individual stripes.
Yeah. So when we say monthly, there's 12 stripes on a belt, 4 white, 4 red, and then 4 of whatever the next color belt is.
We do just silver because it's easy to manage just silver stripes.
Yeah, just keep it consistent.
But IBJJF recommends whatever the next color is.
Yeah, so if you move into yellow belt, then your last set of stripes would be yellow. If you move into orange, it's orange. Yeah, etc. We standardize it. Yeah, we like silver surfers. It looks cool. Yeah, kids are really into it. So it's not that the colors of the stripes particularly make a difference. I think it's more just to differentiate from it, like you're at another stage at a period of time. And as I said, we work on the monthly system. So on average, it takes, for a kid who's training 5-6 days a week, we'll get a stripe roughly every month or a month and a half.
Yeah.
They're hitting their 30 sessions per stripe for the average child.
We average, for those kids, it's usually about a year per belt, which aligns nicely if they start at 8, 9, 10, that by the time they get to their latter teen years, they're towards the upper end of those colors.
Yeah. We've had some pretty good success with our system so far, keeping kids are matching or ahead of their learning curve.
Yeah,
where applicable.
I think it's important to keep them motivated, and I think the stripe, especially with us, the school is big enough at this. It's gone to the point where the school is so big that keeping track of each individual student's progression based purely on like evaluating them, like watching them train, is too much. I mean, our class is between our age group is between 30 to 60 kids on any given day. Yeah. So this helps us like keep track of them, that we can see, okay, this is how much they're training, and then evaluate them based on each of those levels. And then very importantly is that here, our big skills differentiators are our belts. Like when the kids reach their next belts, then then that's when the skills testing comes in. So maybe you can explain that a bit more.
Sure. So obviously they've gone through this process of about a year of earning their belts, and then we get to the time that they're on 2, maybe 4 silver stripes, and we start the conversation with them and their parents. We have set dates throughout the year for gradings. So if they're ahead of that curve, then they're just gonna collect dots or stripes later on their new belt, if they pass, or if they just keep earning until the time. And then they need to teach classes. So this is actually a theme that we carry as a culture in our gym, in our academy, throughout the kids and adults. It doesn't matter what your level is. When it's time to grade, you need to be able to teach and pass on the knowledge, as Professor Quan would say.
Yeah, and I think we try and evaluate each kid's color in alignment with what we would consider 1 stripe on an adult's white belt.
Yeah.
So like for us, with the adults curriculum, it's been around long enough that we have a pretty set structure as to what a 1 stripe should be able to do, what a 2 stripe, a 3 stripe, a 4 stripe, and then a blue belt.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, that's how we track the kids. It's like, okay, at 1 stripe, they need, at gray belt, they need to know X, Y, and Z. And then making sure that when grading time comes around, that they, regardless of how many stripes are on their belt, that they hit those markers. And then if they don't, then the discussion with them happens like, okay, you've got this many stripes, you're not quite here yet, this is what you have to improve on to now get your next gray belt, to get your next color.
Yeah.
And then, from there, like you said, our grading process, besides the individual skills testing that we do with them, they then have to teach a class, because obviously a big part of your skill set in jiu-jitsu is being able to transfer that knowledge. So it's a good indication that you have a good understanding of your technique if you're able to transfer it to others. So our kids run a class when they comes time to grade.
I must say, I was like a little bit hesitant when we started doing this with the kids, and Chef Norman Vessels pitched this to us. I think you were too. And then I found most of the kids go through it with flying colors.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're a little bit hesitant about the public speaking in the beginning, but they don't seem to struggle too much once they get going.
Yeah.
And the feedback I get from parents is like that it really helps with their school when they have to do orals and all their public speaking style projects.
And now we're at the point with kids who have been in the program for a while that you can see, because of this culture of being a good coach at the same time as being a good athlete, it means that we have kids who have the ability to help their fellow students and their juniors and able to do that well. Like we have quite a few of the teens who could jump in and coach a class. Not that they do coach classes, but that they can jump in and help guys who are just starting out and have good technique, and that they're able to teach them and not be like that stereotypical white belt teaching you the wrong thing. Like they have a good understanding of their technique.
Yeah, and of the not just technique, but like the concepts, right? Like why these movements are important, not just a robot repeating things.
Yeah, they have a good understanding of how all of it works. So that's the kids grading. We obviously it's as a summary, we're on the monthly system. So on average, if the kids are training often, so their cards have 30 dots. So if they're training X amount of times a month, they hit those 30 dots, they get their stripe. For the kids who are training often, that's once a month. For the kids who aren't training often, then obviously their belts take a little bit longer, but that's fine. That's with all jiu-jitsu practitioners. If you're training less, you're going to grade a little bit slower. So and then our grading system, we have them coach classes. And then what about the time to get their belt? How does that system work?
So as I said already, we have preset dates. There's 3 or 4 of them a year for the kids, just because of the quantity of kids, that otherwise we're going to have one grading with 50 kids, and then that's going to be a disaster. So we do what's called our death rolls. So all the kids that are grading to their next belt take a spot on the mat you can see behind us, and they'll sit there they'll end up rolling all of their peers and all of their coaches for about a minute roll per kid. And it's not about winning. It's just about, getting to touch base with all your training partners, all your teammates and the community, and going through this process of like, this is the hardest thing I'm going to do.
Yeah.
you know, which sets a mindset of resilience for the kids.
Well, it's tough. You feel like when you've done, after you've done it, for anyone who has, when you've done it, you feel like you've really accomplished something at the end.
Yeah. And it, it's a little bit more skills based than like I get my belt and then all my friends whip me in the gauntlet.
I don't know if you still like that.
I still see videos, and that's something we're like really against, either throwing or gauntlets.
Yeah. It's very old school style jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But yeah, this way, it's hard. Like, it's not easy. You feel like you've earned your belt at the end. Like, it just,
it does create a great sense of camaraderie, community.
Yeah. The kids get around each other, cheer each other on.
They really celebrate, especially when they have to roll their coaches at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got that intense music playing.
Yeah, we have the grading playlist. If anyone's been here, you know what it sounds like.
Yeah. You can, there'll be a link up over here on this corner to one of our post-grading days, our old grading days that has been shot. Check it out. You'll get a good sense of the energy and the vibe. What a grading day is. For the kids, they roll for about an hour 15 minutes, which is quite long because normally they do 15 minutes of rolling per class. But when it comes to grading day, it's an hour and a bit. You'll see, we'll get onto the adults a little bit later.
Yeah, that gets more intense.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. That's it. I think that's it for the kids.
Thanks for joining us on the breakdown without Richie Quan. If you please like and subscribe over here. And if you have any comments, leave them down below, or topics you would like us to cover.